Hello everyone, this is Gw2 speaking in a video with a very stupid title. This one will focus on solo play and overall Mesmer survival and 3 aspects of damaging: burst, sustain and conditions. It is a perfect time to record this video simply because we have seasons starting. And with an influx of new players, I am able to show you things which are just slightly visible in a normal, experienced enemies situations. First thing I would like you to notice is the survivability of my build. The gear hasn't changed, it is still Berserker Ascended. But what is important here is that my enemies do not have ranged attacks and I am able to kite them. When they catch up to me, I am able to use Blood Frenzy to buy me 2 seconds of time and regenerate some dodging. When a thief, another one, came and used ranged weapons, I needed to use a portal. This is a very important thing if you pick 1 versus n fights. What is the composition of your enemies and do you have an escape route? There is one ruin on top of which the fight takes place, and in that case I won't be able to escape and fight as fluidly. When I attacked here I hoped for some might generation, but I didn't think that they won't attack me. No mites, no burst, no interrupts, no openings, so I use mass invisibility to reposition. A potential opening, a thief and underlevel guardian next to each other, and I can use mind crater. Hydromancy for damage and for slowing enemies down. Blood Frenzy combining defense and offense so they can't hit me. Swap to break stun and curtain to both position them, save myself and generate mites. Now if I had a party mate it would be a burst opening. A thief poisoned me, so I couldn't execute the burst with a shatter. I had to use my clones as healing power to heal. As I did not panic earlier, I still have distortion possible, so I activated it and used Chaos Storm, both to generate ages and defensive buffs on me, and to interrupt a thief. Afterwards, well, blink, portal and I can run. So I've got an escape tool ready again. Notice my perma regeneration. It means that when I am running, I am healing a bit. This bit helps. I don't want to run, I want to fight them, but I need my cooldowns back. Right now I am fighting like a burst player. I need to stretch them and use an occasion to kill. Note one thing, as long as my clones existed, they dealt bleeds from crits and, when they were dying, dissipation. I cast Phantasm, Warlock, and I was regenerating out of combat, but Warlock hit an enemy, so he returned to combat. This is the second reason why I use debilitating dissipation. An enemy stays in combat because they have conditions, and I don't stay in combat. I was hunting that team in the ruins and I met them again. This time they were stretched already. The only way to actually kill a thief is to burst him. I mean, the only way I know. So I did it. The thief was still alive, so I moved underwater to execute the maximum Mesmer possible burst. Combination of Spur 5 and Spur 2 against the wall creates a lot of damage. What I want to say here is combination of Hydromancy weapon swap, Phantasm hit and shatter is my burst. This stuff does have burst options, but only if you combine it with shatters. Greatsword is much better in terms of damage, but lacks defenses. Once again using a burst to execute an engineer. As my enemy doesn't seem to want to fight against me, I can go all out without even trying to defend myself. Notice the important difference between playstyles. This time I immobilized with swap and Blood Frenzy for offense. If I was at risk, I could always distort and blink. Please compare the previous fight to this one. I have to admit I am not very happy with this one, simply because it is not pure. There are 2 enemy warriors, one from Abaddon and another from Aurora Glade. I have attacked too offensively and I made several mistakes, so I had to port back. So yeah, now the important part. I am not shattering, I am using phantasms and staff clones mostly, using sword mostly for defense. Even if enemy warrior has condition times reduced, still the damage from external sources takes its toll. What is important here is that I cannot burst the warrior down, it's better to use attrition in this fight. I will not get an opening to burst. I need to wear him down to be able to burst at the end of the fight. And a combination of staff auto-attack damage, even if minuscule, clone dissipation and staff clones which add conditions is perfect for that. And the crown jewel, in my opinion, of this video, a fight with a very good elementalist. Here, an important disclaimer: I have food and stacks, my enemy doesn't. When we repeated the fight without those, I lost. Now, I don't know how about you, but I have patterns, personally. I know that versus a thief I will have to burst in most cases, versus a warrior I will have to fight a sustain fight. But an elementalist requires readaptation every time. Usually, me fighting an elementalist is like sustain in the beginning, use mostly phantasms and clone dissipation and conditions, and when I get an opening, interrupt and burst. Beautiful theory really, and here I phase retreated too fast and I got hit. So defensive mode. Even if I am immobilized after mass invisibility and enemy knows where I am, it is not a problem. Portal, heal and wait as long as I can. If I make a mistake, phase retreat. And once again, swap can be used not only to immobilize an enemy, but also to move yourself in a situation, like with that guardian bubble earlier, but this time I moved on the other side of where the elementalist thought I will be. Low hit points is a problem, but I've got 3 clones up again. If I run after an enemy, I would give him the best gift ever, because neither of us has options to execute the foe, so we kind of reset the fight. But in the waiting game, Mesmer has a major advantage because of clones. Please compare this fight to the first clip. Over there, I had superior mobility, I could move wherever I wanted, and I could kite my opponents. And even if they attacked me at range, I could reflect it with Warden and Temple Curtain. Right now, my enemy has stability and his mobility is even better than mine, but on the other hand, I can out-sustain him. Hiding behind a warden gives me projectile reflection, and if he charges at me I can dodge. In the normal world versus world situation he could reset the fight, but he couldn't catch me because portal gives 6000 range of displacement. So in normal world versus world situation either of us would break the fight. The same applies to fighting a shatter Mesmer really, because this elementalist, to burst he needs to pin me down, and I've got either portal or blink ready. And I have one major advantage: chill. Chill is the devastating condition against every light class, but most of all elementalist. So as you can see, at this point it looks like the fight has reset. We both have some hit points, we both have some resources, in his case is boons, in my case it is clones, and I make a mistake here because I shatter too early. I mean, shattering gives me absolutely nothing, definitely not mind rack, maybe a free shatter, but at this point I don't think so. And now a new danger appears. My enemy starts to create a stack of mites. He has correctly identified that I have high sustain power, mostly because of my clones and Aetherfist. Clones plus Aetherfist give me very high pseudo healing power. Additionally, they deal damage, and I space them so there is always a clone ready. Seeing the mites being able to pierce my pseudo healing power shield, I have changed the tactics. Now I am using sword 1 to strip boons and generate more sword clones. A sword on third hit destroys a boon, and on top of that, sword clones are so close to an enemy that dissipation hits. So those dissipation conditions act like a cover condition for chill. Now I have an advantage, so I can go more offensively. Time to put up some warlocks to combine them with Chaos Storm and Dissipation. If an elementalist starts to use the Turning Earth or one of other of those long skills, I can do one of two things. Either Blood Frenzy through it, evading it, or try to interrupt it with Curtain or F3 Shatter. Again, sword boonstrip right now. I managed to take 19 stacks of mites. And I managed to apply chill on him. Right now I have a major advantage, but he moved away from me. This is the greatest weakness of this stuff. I can't attack him really reliably unless I blink to him. In retrospect, I should have blinked because I have portal ready. I am not going to explain every move I make because I think at this point you already see what is going on. Because of elementalist mobility, Nullfield doesn't really work offensively on him unless I manage to either pin him down or he needs to stay in one place. This is where sword clones, Vuln, Boonstrip, come into play. When I am low on hit points, I need to kite. To create opportunity, I need to kite. When I see enemy high on might, I need to boonstrip. But the most important thing is that I really need to move between defense and offense. And that I need to move between fighting styles at the same time. I cannot kill an elementalist using only conditions, I cannot kill him using only phantasms. But when I shatter, I lose the most valuable resource, which gives me both sustain and distortion. On the other hand, fighting glacier enemies or thieves, I need to shatter a lot. Neither of the phantasms I am using are very reliable against moving foes. What is important, from my point of view, this is not only my build which works like that. Most Mesmer builds work like that. And now I win. He doesn't have protection and I can shatter. Clones are close and I have Blood Frenzy.